Wagons are rolling on Saturday then. Challenge Cup was the early kickoff. Edinburgh against the Bulls. And it's just finished. These are my thoughts immediately following the full-time whistle. Let me know yours in the comments down below. And here comes the result, because it finished in an absolute belter of a grandstand finish. 34 points to Edinburgh, 28 points to the Bulls. The Bulls out. And Edinburgh progress and have a home semi-final. And, well, I mean, the Bulls have got a lot to play for in the URC. Edinburgh, not so much. So this was their season on the line. And they've managed to keep it going. It really did feel like it was the Bulls being the Bulls. And I'll come on to that in just a second. And Edinburgh just looking like they were going to Edinburgh it and lose it at the death, but managed to hang on. Really, like, slightly mad game. And I don't know, if you're a Bulls fan, does Jake White have to own this one? I mean, there were some interesting calls in selection before the game. Papier on the bench, Van Staden on the bench, Vessels and Grobbelaar fine, Moody as well, all of which made a big difference when they came on. Particularly, like the few amount of minutes that Ambrose Papier got. Anyway, I mean, I understand finishing with your stronger team. We saw Leinster do a little bit of that yesterday. South Africa have done it. Jake White was doing it. But the number of minutes he was giving certain players, given the impact they had, I don't know. It's easy to say. Hindsight is 2020. Had the Bulls gone on and won the game, then, you know, Jake White's a genius and the Bulls are in a semi-final. But that is not how it panned out. This was one of those games that made me think, I'm up for summer rugby. I would actually quite like summer rugby, as much as anything for being a supporter, standing in the stands. And days like that looked absolutely brilliant. I'm sure Edinburgh fans were like, oh, what, we got the early kick-off, come on. But how good was that? Standing in the sunshine in Edinburgh, beer in your hand, and watching rugby, which at times was a little bit mad. I've got to talk about kind of defensive efforts, contrasting. So Edinburgh, I think it was, I don't know if this stat is entirely correct, but I think it was said in commentary, something like it, that it was only in about 65, 70 minutes. So like the opening hour of the game, Edinburgh gave no penalties away in open play. It was only set-piece pens. And that discipline was remarkable. That limited the Bulls' entries to the 22. It limited how well they could get their maul going, although Bulls line-out is another thing. You can imagine, like, Bakis Borta and Victor Matfield just, like, face-palming, watching it on the TV, going, what are you doing, boys? Because the line-out was a bit of a mess. Brutal physicality. There were shots on, some that went beyond the line a little bit, and I'll come on to that too. And compare Edinburgh's defence, which, like I say, was disciplined. They won the breakdown battle with Hamish Watson initially, and then Ben Muncaster and Magnus Bradbury was huge. And Pierre Schumann, had to be him at the end, didn't it? Getting the clutch turnover. But I don't know, but Bulls just seemed a bit lethargic in defence, particularly in the, I mean, that just leaky defence just helped Lang get the first try. Although the offload was filth as well. I always think in rugby teams that I've played in rugby teams that I coach, defence is the thing that, it's one of the easiest things to fix, one of the easiest things to do, and it's one of the things that's all about attitude and togetherness. When you are really with your band of brothers, and I'm not going to let you down on that side of me, and I'm not going to let you down on that side of me, I'm going to get my man. I think defence speaks to the overall health of a team. When you've got a team that just will level everything and there's cohesion and everyone's tight together, that speaks to, like, how the group is as a whole. When there's a little chink in the armour, defence is the place where it shows up. And I don't know if that is what's happening with the Bulls, but I wonder. Zach Berger yellow in that first half. Thoughts on that? Was it 7 minutes in? Thoughts? I can understand why, given yellow cards that are given, why it was given, but it did seem a little bit harsh, that one. It seemed to me like he was going for a turnover, ball got popped up, and deliberate knock-on, I'm not so sure. But like, I can understand in relation to others why it's given. Just, I didn't feel like it's like the laws being applied without the spirit of the laws being applied, if you get me. So anyway, with a man down, Bradbury goes over. Looked like the Bulls had hit reset when David Creel made it 14-7. You thought, right, okay, they've got their poor start out the way, let's go. But the rest of the first half just belonged to Edinburgh. Bulls were not taking care of business at the breakdown. Hamish Watson, maybe the mullet power is returning to the mish. Muncaster came and did a similar job later on. Yeah, the mentality of the Bulls, again, that's one of the big question marks I've got here. There's selection, there's the travelling part of it, there's how seriously they're taking the Challenge Cup. I would have thought with seeing the Sharks have such a good time on that Challenge Cup journey last year, and also already having dropped down and being disappointed not being in the Champions Cup after kind of losing the game against Northampton. In fact, this game felt very much like that Northampton match for the Bulls, didn't it? Just not quite on their game. At some point they switch on and go, oh God, we're going to actually lose this game if we don't pull our finger out our backsides. And they did, but weren't able to get across the line. Not without the effort of Hanekom. There was a penalty try as well. Another try for David Creel. Sorry, I'm just going to turn the noises on my phone off. There we go. It is like 6:30 a.m. here in California. So I got up very, very early to watch that one. Can you see the bags under my eyes? Hope you appreciate the fact that there's a video out there. And I apologise if it's not making a great deal of sense. Anyway, yeah, but the Bulls did kind of switch in. Kanan Moody came on, made a massive difference. So did some of the other replacements. Marco van Staden. I didn't mention Janus Kirsten, did I, getting the yellow card? Followed by a Gilchrist try as well. Was Kirsten... Well, were the Bulls lucky not to get a red card? That's another controversial, I don't know. It's another decision that some people would debate. I think some people could debate the referee's overall performance. It felt a little bit Magic 8 Ball, didn't it, with some of it. But you've got to say it made for an entertaining match. And no team, and the Bulls on this occasion, had Edinburgh lost it, they couldn't have been pointing at the referee and saying, we got robbed. Same thing with the Bulls. They made so many mistakes of their own doing that you cannot put it on a referee. Not at all. Because they didn't take care of business at the line-out. Defence was leaky as hell. Some of the replacement changes seemed like they happened at odd times, and some of them too late. But anyway, Hanekom penalty try, another David Creel try, set up a grandstand finish, and Edinburgh were doing their very best to try and cough up the victory, but it was Skuman at the end who came through. Some really, really big performances for Edinburgh. Lang was really good. Again, it's great to see Hamish Watson playing well. Magnus Bradbury was excellent. In fact, it was that back row area where the Bulls were bested, I think, despite the efforts of Cameron Hanekom. They are missing it, as we said. Arenson will make a big difference. He gets back for the playoff push in the URC, doesn't he? Villy LaRue, obviously, is always going to make a difference. There's another one or two as well. It's early, and the Bordeaux Munster game is going on. I just wanted to just dip in there with the Challenge Cup and saying I haven't forgotten about you, Challenge Cup quarterfinalists. And I'll put out as many videos as I can reacting to the rugby today, but the next game, Bordeaux Munster. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next one. Well done, Edinburgh.